I wasn't always loaded, I had to stay down when they got what I wanted. Now when they see me, them bitches be on me. Now when I pull up, them niggas hate on me. I got more money than niggas be homies. Had the grind for the shit, did it all by my loan.
Yeah. Good, baby. Alright, what's up YouTube? It's Cash here. Welcome to Living Wealthy Network. Today I have a special guest with me, my brother 4K.
How you guys doing? Like Cash said, my name is 4K. I'm excited to do this journey with you guys. Thank you for having me, Cash. And today, let's just jump into it. We're going to talk about our top 5 picks of 2025. Anything you want to tell the people before I get started, Cash?
I don't. Let's get right into it. Let's not leave people waiting. What are we going to be recommending this year? All right, so I don't want to leave you guessing or nothing like that. So our stocks that we're going to be recommending for our top 5 stocks that we're recommending for 2025 is going to be Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon, Vista Corporation, and QQQ.
Sir.
I mean, 4K, what are we starting off with? What's going to be our first pick for 2025?
So our first pick is an industry leader, e-commerce giant. Of course, I'm talking about the one of only Amazon. So in the third quarter alone of 2024, Amazon has made a huge leap in profits. I'm talking earning over $15.3 billion. That's massive. And that's 55% more than what they did last year, right? And add on to that, they have so much free cash flow. And for those who don't know what free cash flow is, that's the money you have left over after all your expenses. They have over 100% more in free cash flow this year than they did last year. And they are sitting on a boatload of cash. I'm talking 88 billion, not million, billion dollars. And we predict that in the course of the next year, Amazon is going to continue to grow as one of the AI leaders, and it's going to reassert its dominance. And that's why we believe it's going to be one of the best picks of this year.
Yes, sir. So as you guys heard, Amazon, big money maker. I mean, everybody know about Amazon. Everybody shop at Amazon. So this is one of those picks that's a gimme, right? This is something that everybody should already know. It's probably a great company and makes great money as well. So why not make money off of them if you're already gonna be spending money with them? So we looking at their chart, right? We looking at a stock chart of Amazon. We're on the weekly time frame, as you guys see right up at the top. We got it on the weekly time frame. We're gonna look back at the fall from March 2020, right? We're gonna see how much money we could have made off Amazon if we would have invested back in March 2020. We see it also came down again in March 2022, so we can even take it from there. That's just a 2-year. So that's something you wouldn't have wait 2 years to invest in, and it would have gave you 180%, right? So you would have almost doubled your money in 2 years. All right, so that's a good profit. So now what we're going to do is chart it up. All right, we're going to chart it up and see where exactly can we get into a good buying price for Amazon. One thing you never want to do is buy in right at the top of the chart, right? You want to let it pull back a little bit because the charts is telling you exactly where the stock could be headed next, right? So if it pulls back a little bit, you know that more than likely it's going to come back to this all-time high, which is at $233. So we have Amazon right here in this wedge pattern. I'm gonna put it about right there actually. All right, so it's not even at the top of the wedge pattern nor the bottom of the wedge pattern. It's right here in this middle range, right? So we wanna see a buy-in price. To see a buy-in price, we're going to pull out what's called a fib retracement. All right, a fib retracement just lets me know where does the big market buyers buy in at, right? So what we're called our little money, we retail money, right? They call us dumb money. The fib retracement gives you what does the big boys do? What does the banks do, right? So a good buy-in price for Amazon, right? The first fib retracement is actually going to be right here at the bottom of this channel, right? So that's how you know this channel is a pretty good channel, right? So if it sells down, it's pretty close to this channel or even this fib retracement, which is going to be 201. That's going to be a good buy-in price. All right, what I like to do, I like to give it at least a 10% pullback before I start to look to buy in. So I'm gonna go right from the price that it's currently at. We're gonna go down 10%. So shoot, our 10% is actually going to be at this first buy-in point, but that's gonna be 8%. But we're gonna take that one as our first one. We're just going to give our second one to our second field retracement point, which is going to be at 192. All right, so we got our first one at 201, our second buy-in point at 192 for Amazon.
Nice.
All right, 4K, what we got next?
I might have jumped the gun when I was talking about Amazon because I forgot to mention why we feel like cash reserves are so important. When me and Cash are looking at stocks, we want to make sure you are an industry leader, not just one of the small boys, big boys only. And we also want to make sure you have a ton of cash sitting, not just invested, just sitting. Why? Because it allows you for companies to invest in new growth, survive economic downturns, and manage your debt so that you're not always just focused on paying bills, but you can actually maneuver. And that agility allows you to seize opportunities that present themselves. Remember, luck favors the prepared, and it doesn't get more prepared than a couple billion in the bank. You know what I'm saying? But our second stock that we think is going to be a leader for 2025 is the one, the only Vista Corp. So with this rapid growth of AI that you've been talking about, it's putting a huge demand on the power grid, right? And experts predict that the US might face a little bit of a shortage of resources to meet this need. This makes nuclear power, Vista Corp, a prime and appealing option. In Texas alone, a nuclear plant has become a prime spot for developing data centers, and not only because of the amount of energy it can produce, but because it can be ready quickly. And Vista, a key player in the space, is expected to report earnings of about 98 cents per share, which this quarter alone makes it about a 304% increase than last year. And in this last quarter, they brought in about $6 billion in revenue, a 53% jump from the previous year. So, you know, me and Cass is all about the money, and you got it, we want some of it. And that's why we think that Vista is going to be a great pick leading into 2025.
Vista Corporation. All right, we all know that AI is going crazy, but we also know that everybody has technology, right? Everybody needs electricity. The only thing that's going to happen is more dead spots around America are going to get electricity. And how are we going to supplement that extra supply? This is one of the companies that is going to supplement that supply. So as we see, we already have Vista Corp charted up, right, on the weekly time frame as well, again, on this one. It's in this upwards channel right now. Vista is right up here at the top part of this channel. All right, so what we want to do is always look for a pullback. Like I said, you never want to buy it up at all-time highs. Let it come back a little bit so you don't suffer that when it does pull back. Right, you can get in when it's all the way and it's already down. If we see here, our first field retracement point, it's going to be, I'm gonna move this out the way so we can see. Our first field retracement point is going to be right here. That's going to be right at 112. All right, it's currently sitting at $160. All right, so we can get a good pullback to 112. That would be a good buying point. And like I said, we always want to give it a little 10% drop just so we can know where we can make some money at. Right, and that's going to give us to 130. All right, so our first buy-in point is going to be at 139. Our second buy-in point is going to be at 112 for Vista Corporation. All right, for today, what we got next, man?
See, our third pick for 2025 is one that we are a little bit familiar with, one of the cool kids on the block. And of course, I'm talking about the one, the only Tesla. Tesla stands out as one of the top EV manufacturers, driven by great leadership and, if I'm being honest, cult-like following that fuels its hype, right? People are eager to buy, experience, and talk about Tesla vehicles. I literally paid a premium last week just so I can drive around in one, so I can just feel what it's like to be a part of the crew. Because I'm not there yet, but I will be one day, Cass.
You're gonna be there. Sure.
With Elon Musk's vision aligned with the current administration's EV-friendly stance and the promise of robo-taxis on the horizon, this company is going to continue to innovate, continue to grow, continue to smash record revenue. So their cars are already impressive. There's still room for improvement, and Tesla actively addresses that. So they're not just a company that just rests on the shoulders like, oh, we're number one, we're going to stay like that. They still want to grow. They still want to continue and be better, just like me and Cash. So of course, we got to go play along with that. So beyond EVs, Tesla's not just one-dimensional. It's also heavily invested in AI, It has its hands in energy generation and storage, the supercharging network, software that offered services, and even have regulatory credits, as well as licensing and partnerships. They have their hands in almost every piece of the pie, and we want to be along with it. Over the last 4 years alone, Tesla has more than 4x the amount of vehicles they sold, doubled the energy storage, 3x the deployed superchargers, 3x the service revenue, and doubled its total revenue. And that leads us to believe that it's going to continue smashing numbers, keep reaching all-time highs. And over the last 5 years alone, Tesla's revenue has driven its stock price over 1,200%. That's 12x. If you had $100 in Tesla beginning of 2020, it would be worth over $1,200 right now. And that's amazing. We might expect a little pullback due to its recent surges, but it doesn't shake me or Cash's confidence. We think that Tesla has long-term potential for sure.
Hey, Tesla, one of those big boys, man. Just like Amazon, one of those big boys, one of them ones for sure. All right, so Tesla is a company, one of those that I wish I would have been paying attention in high school. You feel me? You just bought a share or two in high school, like, oh my Lord, look at this chart. You feel me? From bottom left to top right. In the charts we love, right? Because that means you're making money along the way, all the way. So we already have Tesla charted up. We're gonna zoom out a little more. I'm gonna delete this field. Yeah, put it back on there for you. Don't worry about it. Man, boom. So we have Tesla charted up, right? We see that it took off right here in 2019, took off, popped up all the way to $411 from $12, right? So he already told you that percentage. I'm gonna tell you again, just so you believe it. That's 3,000%. All right, you're looking at that's 3,000% from 2019. I don't know what I was doing in 2019, but I should have been buying Tesla stock for sure, for sure. But Tesla sitting up in this wedge pattern, right? It's between the price points of what's that? $399, about $399, $400, and then the bottom right here is gonna be 136, right? And I got that from that bottom right here, and these highs right here. It tried to break out. Right now, it's doing a breakout retest, right? So it could come to this price point and take off, but I still don't want to buy it at the highs, right? Unless it is 10% back. But what we're gonna do is throw this fib on, and actually for Tesla, we're going to move down to the daily time frame. I got a lot of faith in Tesla. I feel like him partnering up with Trump gonna really boost him. And
You both.
he gonna get whatever he needs to. Right. So our first buy-in price for Tesla is going to be right here at this first fib retracement point, which is 357. All right. And that's actually pretty close to where we're at now, considering how fast Tesla moved from 394 down to 357. That could happen within a week. And if it come here within a week, it could be back up here within 2 weeks, right? So that is nothing to sleep on with Tesla. We're going to take it from the all-time high. All right, so already giving you a 10%, a 20% pullback actually, right? So this is actually a pretty good time to be nibbling on Tesla. So what we're gonna do is take it 10% from where we're currently at, which will probably give us right here at this fib retracement point, but I want to see anyway. Yep, 10%. All right, so it's already looking like a pretty good stock to buy. All right, so we'll just get a second buy-in price at this second fib retracement point, which is going to be 318. Right, so I would actually go ahead and start nibbling on some Tesla, right? I wouldn't buy a lump sum, but a couple $100 if you can afford that. But if it comes down to this first buy-in price right here, 357, I would add a little more, and then I would load the boat, right? Load the boat is when you put, I wouldn't say all your money, but enough to where you feel like you're gonna make some profit down at this 318 mark. All right, folks, what we got next?
So we got another cool kid on the block, one that might do better than Tesla, believe it or not. I'm talking about the one, the only NVIDIA. NVIDIA holds such a dominant position with the monopoly on the AI industry. Since its manufacturing of GPUs, that not just manufacturing GPUs, it also has its hands tied in softwares and systems for computing, gaming, and artificial intelligence. These are fields that are worth hundreds of billions of dollars, right? And it's leading the industries. So since inventing the GPU in like 1999, it's revolutionized videos and gaming altogether. NVIDIA's technology found is proven to be invaluable for its energy efficiency in computing in complex calculations, right? And don't let my words to be the proof. The biggest and the best and the brightest companies are also investing in NVIDIA by using their hardware inside their Tesla vehicles, Google, Amazon cloud services, Meta, Microsoft, and Oracle are also big giants that love to use NVIDIA. And leave the big giants alone. We also got the stylish Benz and Hyundais. Everyone wants a piece of NVIDIA, and there's not enough to go around, man. That's why the demand is so high, and that's why we're touching all-time highs. But if AI is a new gold rush, think of NVIDIA as the perfectly positioned proverbial shovel to help you dig that gold. Their chips are in such high demand for the data centers, and with the growth of cloud computing and gaming, we just don't see any sign of that slowing down, Cash. And it's not just an AI leader, bro. It has its hands in professional visualization, the data centers, automotive, omniverse, metaverse, cryptocurrency mining, edge computing. The list goes on and on and on. And I can say in the last 5 years, it's had such remarkable revenue growth that its stock price has increased over 2,200%. I say it again, 2,200%. Returns damn near unheard of. And that's why we believe it's positioned to just continue to killing it, and we want parts of it. It has to be an our portfolio. If not us, then who?
Man, who? It gotta be me. I need it. Hey, like I said, you always want to find those momentum-driven stocks, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it,
man.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So as we looking at NVIDIA stock chart, all right, like you said, 2,200%. I think it's just within the last 2 years. I just want to look at it from what it did from last year, though. We're not even going to go all the way back, look 3-4 years down the line. Just last year, from January to where it's at, well, where it was at all-time high. All right, that's 200%. Right, you would have doubled your money. That's a double on your money if you would have just bought into this stock at $47. Now at $152. Right, so this definitely is something that can keep running. As we see, this just like Tesla, the big boys right now are currently in a range, right? This range for this one is going to be from $94 all the way up until $148. So what we're gonna do for this, we still want to find a buy-in price, right? It already came down. It's down here at our 72 EMA. All right, it's coming down, touching our 72 EMA. As you see, it's actually staying above our 72 EMA. If we can see it break below our 72 EMA, it'll come down probably to our 200. All right, but that's another video on another time. What we're gonna do now is throw a little fib on there. All right, our first fib retracement point for our first buy-in point on NVIDIA is going to be down here at $129. Right, it's at 140. That's a pretty good buy-in price, right? Because it can easily come down to there, just because of the volatility that NVIDIA has. As you see, this big red candle, I think it sold off about 5% in a day, just yesterday or the day before that. All right, so since it is so close to this first fib retracement point, we're going to go ahead and give our second buy-in point at our second fib retracement, which is going to be 122. All right, I already believe it's 10% down, but I still look to see an all-time high. Yep, it's 10%. Well, it's 9.52. You feel me? 10%, just a little bit further right below that 72. So this right here would be a 15% pullback, and then the second one would be a 20% pullback, right? So those are your two buy-in points for NVIDIA within 2025. If you give us those prices, I would definitely be looking to add to my portfolio.
With me both, Cash.
For sure. All right, 4K. Our last one. Now we done gave them stocks. We done gave them the big boys. We done gave them high flyers, great returners. Now we want to go something a little safe, right? Tell them what we got next.
So what we're about to give you now for our fifth pick of talk of 2025 is the ETF QQQ, or to be more specific, Invesco QQQ. We believe it's such a strong buy due to its exposure in the leading tech companies, especially the Magnificent Seven. I think exposure is not enough to say it. It's made up of over 50% of these seven companies. I'm talking about Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Nvidia, Amazon, and Tesla. And remember I was telling you how me and Cash really care about those companies with with a lot of cash on hand? Apple alone has 62 billion in reserves, Nvidia 14 billion, Amazon 45 billion, Tesla 22 billion, Google and Microsoft 110 billion plus. Like, there's no competing with these companies, and they know that, and we know that too. We like things that align with us, and that's why we're focused on QQQ. But not only does it have its hand in the tech space, right, with cloud computing and AI, it also has a little bit of software development. It has exposure to diverse sectors like biotech with Amgen and Gilead, consumer discretionaries, Home Depot, Starbucks, even healthcare with Moderna. It's providing you with a balanced growth potential. It's not just giving you the big boys, it's giving you some of them safer, more common stocks that you would hear about from your day to day. So this balance reduces your risk while providing you with significant growth potential. When I say significant, I do mean significant. So this ETF is highly liquid, it's cost effective, and it's just positions to benefit from all the future advancements in tech that me and Cash believe are going to come sooner rather than later. And like I said, those large cash reserves are just giving it that financial strength and ability to navigate any economic downturns. And with this new presidential administration that's coming in, we think it's the perfect time.
Like 4K said, man, it has all of the greatest companies in the world in it, right? So America has all of the greatest companies, not to brag on my country or nothing like that, but research shows, Now, this ain't what Cash got to say. This is what research shows, that we have the greatest companies in the world, right? And QQQ is made up of 50% of those greatest companies, right? So why wouldn't you want to invest into a ETF like this, all right? So this won't give you all of that exposure. Like I said, Nvidia fell 5% in a day, right? This isn't going to do that to your portfolio. This is something that's going to be a little slower moving, but this is something safe that you can trust. We want to see what is a good buy-in price right now for QQQ. So we're going to take it from the weekly. We're going to move it down to the daily. Just because QQQ moves a little slower, we don't have to chart it from the weekly. We can move in a little closer and get in on the daily. As we see, it's actually coming down to this lower wedge pattern, coming down to our support on our lower wedge pattern. But we're going to put our Fib retracement on to see where would be a good buy-in price. We're going to take it from the bottom that it gave us in October 2023 to the top where it's at now. All right, so this would be, so like I said, this is a slower moving stock. So if it decided to somehow go from 538 all the way down to what's that, 476, oh, that ain't too bad, 13%. All right, that would be a good buy-in price for QQQ, because like I said, this isn't Tesla, this isn't Nvidia, right? So if it pulls back 13%, we need to be looking to add shares really as much as you can. My second buy-in price, since that's 13%, remember my first buy-in price is typically 10%. So we're just gonna go ahead and give it to our second Fib retracement point. We're gonna see what percentage that would be. I think it would be about 20, about 18%, right? So our first buy-in price would be at this 465 level. Our second buy-in price would be at this 440 level for QQQ, right? These are going to be good buy-in prices for really long-term holds. And for you to make money over a multitude of years. All right.
So, Cass, I got a question for you. When we gave stocks like Tesla and Nvidia, which we had over 1,000% of returns. Why are we so confident about a stock like QQQ, which in the last 5 years already did 200%?
Right. So the reason why you want to go with a stock like QQQ, maybe instead of Tesla or Nvidia or those more faster moving stocks, is because you don't want the volatility of your portfolio going down 20, 30, 40% and then turn back around going up 50%. Right. So like last year, Tesla was actually down 40%. It was actually at $176, right? If we look at the stock now today in January, we wouldn't know that it was at $176 in August, right? But it flew up to almost $400 and $500 by the end of the year. That's the volatility that QQQ will not give you, right? You won't have to be worrying about your portfolio going down so much in such a short span of time. Right, so that's why I like to invest in stocks like QQQ, SPY, SMH, which is a semiconductor ETF. Right, these are different industries that are currently growing, or different industries that have a lot of potential, and that's why I look for the ETFs.
Nice, nice. ETFs. You keep saying ETFs. I know that's not what this video's main point is, but can you tell the viewers a little bit about what an ETF is?
Ooh, okay, so an ETF, that's an exchange traded fund. These are going to be like, so I want you to think of the stock market, like I said in my previous video, as a big marketplace, right? In these marketplaces, you can either you can go to a specific company and buy that one specific company, right? You can go straight to McDonald's and buy a McChicken, or you can go to Costco and go and buy a bunch of different kinds of McChickens, right? So that's what an ETF is. An ETF is going to be the larger portfolio, the larger stock that has all of the different companies within inside of it, right? So you're not just going to trust your money with one company, right? Like instead of just trusting your money with one company like Amazon, you can trust your money with the entire stock market.
I love it. That shit. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. I'm a little bit of a risk taker myself, but it's nice to have some things that's a little bit safer, stable. That won't blow my account. So, shout out to you for that one. Just a little wrap about what we've talked about. The 5 companies we think are going to go bonkers in 2025 because they've been going bonkers for so long. We got Amazon, we have Vista Corp, we have Tesla, we have Nvidia, and we have QQQ, baby. We are ready to cut. We are ready to hit the floor running in 2025 and make these gains, man. Talk to him, Cash.
Yeah, I want you to at least start looking into these companies and doing your own research on these companies. This is a time for you to look into how can you start building your own wealth, right? Nobody ever teaches us this. This was never a class in high school nor college that I could have took that would have taught me all of this that we just broke down to you today, right? This is a chance for you to actually start making money. If you're saving money, you can save money into the stock market. It's the same thing, right? But you can actually make more money off of that. I want to thank my co-host for actually tuning in to today and coming in to help me out. This is going to be more series like this. We're going to get really deep into investing and teaching people how to invest and how can you actually make your money work for you while you sleep, right? Not just while you woke, while you're going around, you ain't got to stand on your feet 8 hours a day to make money. You can make money in your sleep too. And this is what we're going to teach you on Living Wealthy Network.
I wasn't always loaded, I had to stay down when they got what I wanted. Now when they see me, them bitches be on me. Now when I pull up, them niggas hate on me. I got more money than niggas be on me. Had the ground for the shit, did it all by my loan.